Welcome back to Sunny Morning here at El Dorado Royale Resort. So, how are you after all these topics from today?
It's amazing. What a variety. And this topic I really love because I see so much opportunity for, having lived in Mexico for such a long time and seeing a lot of young people that it's so easy to be denied opportunity in life. And, people say you've got to be in the right place at the right time. But these initiatives that industry and enterprise is latching on and finding people who are at risk, people at need, I think is wonderful. We've got to get this information out there. So let's talk about a little bit more about how it all came together and how people can get involved.
Well, we were talking that all those three countries, and we said, they were together and they started doing it, and it was very successful. So then YCI, it was recognized in the Global Council Award for Business Excellence in the Community 2002. And then the Manila program was featured on MTV's Speak Up initiative also in 2002. So imagine, that was already, they were really getting into creating a huge impact globally wise. That was very important
that
move.
MTV recognition was huge for the program.
After that, Linda DeMarco subsequently joined the International Business Leaders Forum, where she was successfully helped expand the program as a youth career initiative, and that's when then it started to become the Youth Career Initiative.
Okay.
Back then. So, and then in 2007, some of the major hotels here in Cancun and other ones piloted YCI in two Mexican locations, Mexico City, like I mentioned before, and Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, Cancun became the third location in Mexico, followed by Riviera Maya in 2015 and Guadalajara in 2016. YCI currently operates with 6 leading hotel companies, including Fairmont, Hyatt, NH, Hilton, and Marriott, participating in the program in 5 locations. So far, YCI has seen over 600 graduates in the country. World Visions Mexico is an international Christian humanitarian organization that manages that program in Mexico City and Guadalajara, Cancun, Riviera Maya, and Puerto Vallarta are self-managed programs. In Guadalajara also, they gave him such an importance to the program of YCI that now it's an official program of DIF, than the Secretary of Education.
Okay.
So that's very important because do you know what DIF does, right?
Well, they help children in need and children at risk, particularly, don't they? So it's an award-winning program for children in need.
Would you say that one of the reasons, like in the whole world, in different countries, if they can actually bring such a program like this, how many people would they actually help?
Oh, it's got the potential to reach millions of lives, and as you said, it's reaching hundreds of lives so far, and it's making a real difference. But there are so many children, really, that teenagers and preteens, really, that you can see that they're going to potentially fall into trouble if there's no intervention, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, this has got a huge power.
At the beginning, I was actually asking everybody, did you or did I or did anybody else were any time in their lives if not in risk, at least maybe in a hard way of living sometimes, like, oh my gosh, what do we do? How do I do it? How do I make it?
Yeah.
Pretty down sometimes. And of course, you had the ability to go up and to find a way. But if they didn't, wouldn't it be nice for someone to come to you and say, you know what, let me help you. You know what, I see potential in you, or you know what, you deserve a much better life. You deserve much better. Let me help you out. Yeah. And give them a hand, and then so they can start, creating a different path in their lives.
Well, I want to tell you a quick story, if I can just interject, because I recently gave a talk at my son's school. He's going to be 18, and so he's at that age right now, okay? And this is a private school in Cancun, and that means really the standard of education is good. But the kids there, I just asked them, as I went in, the idea was just to start, I was interested in careers and saying to them, what do you want to do when you leave school, or who's going to university, what's your life plan, right? And out of a class, I would say, of about 20, 3 of them had a life plan. So the majority of the people in the classroom, I was left a little bit bewildered when I left to think, where's the life plan and where is the life coaching and where's the career coordinator here and why are these kids kind of clueless about what they're going to be doing when they leave school? So these are not even kids that are on the margin, that are at risk. These are kids that are in a good opportunity and they don't seem to have the wherewithal or the resources so far have found a path for themselves.
It's a great point because precisely kids that are in risk, they are hungry to move on. They just want to find a way. And so it's very nice when some companies all together, they create, they give some strength to these kind of programs, and then they can actually help somebody else. Myself, I have seen different people in general, young kids, and they were like, some of them, they really, I mean, not really selling drugs necessarily, but they were really in really horrible conditions at home. And with their parents, psychologically wise, of course, they were not having very nice recommendations from their parents also. And so they didn't know what to do. After the program, then I saw that how they started to work. Most of them, they wanted to go back to school and be able to pay for their school as well. And then after that, I saw some of them as well bringing their sisters and brothers, provide them good advisement, which was really wonderful. I saw that. And actually we have some records of it, and it's really wonderful.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, let's be real, because a lot of the time kids, they're bright, right? They're really bright, but they're forced into a situation economically because they live in a very difficult home situation. They have to go out to work, probably illegally, even from the age of 12, 13, and it's not by choice, it's by necessity that they have to go and either sell chicles at the traffic lights, or they have to do something to bring a few pesos, or in this country, home, just to make ends meet. And that means they're missing out on education, they're missing out on opportunity. So, I'm so glad that if this outreach kind of program can reach into that part of society and give something to those kids and say, look, you can even come back and do your education, you can finish your high school later, but you get a chance to work without being judged, without being kind of pushed to the side, and say, this is an opportunity for everybody, right? I mean, this is like people that need it.
And here's a message for every one of us. Like, if we actually see sometime a person who needs some kind of a help, then it probably would be worth it if we stand up for a moment and say, you know what, maybe I can do something for that person, or maybe I can help an association that we know that help this kind of people. And because if we make a difference on their lives, then we never know what they're going to do later on in their lives are going to make a difference, at least to society, at least to themselves, and at least to their families. And that's a lot worth it, because it's part of the life, developing this human side, but also doing the self-development with ourselves.
We were talking the other day on the sports segment with Gilbert, and he loves to find these stories about, like, for example, we talked about NBA basketball players who were down and out, or they lived in really rough communities. We're talking about one particular star the other day living in LA, in the streets of South Central, in Compton. I mean, it's full of problems, And this kid, his mum was going out and giving chocolate and sweets to the rough kids in order to keep them away from her kid that she thought, he's got a future, I want to keep him safe and away from that. This guy has gone on to become a really coveted NBA player. He's also now launched his own businesses. He's got a business label. But it's just that difference, that intervention and having the opportunity to get started. You can see so many stars now that have done that in sports, but they came from such poor backgrounds.
Exactly.
They just got a helping hand. Somewhere there was an intervention, right?
It's true. So, yes, we as people, we gotta do like everything together and just do little contributions here and there to do that. I mean, I have really nice stories or how to help children in general, because those are the ones who need more background and more support, more emotional
Absolutely.
support. So they need to believe on themselves. So see you in a moment. Stay with us.